Record screen, yes. I'm recording it right now. Thanks. So good to see everyone. We have some good moves on the market. So super nice to see. Which is that 1, 2, 3 bullish tree drive. You can also see it like a Model 1 accumulation, but in my opinion it's a bit too vertical for Model 1 accumulation. But technically it is a valid one because we have the one. We swept it right here and then we had lower high, lower low, and this is now our pending bullish break structure, but it seems like we are gonna break it, which means that we have a valid Wyckoff Model 1. Target of that is the range high. So not to get super bullish right here. Luckily we longed it down there, but we are reaching strong supply. But overall I think we have a very good chance to reach the range highs in the next few weeks, which means that any pullbacks we can get, higher low for a higher high towards that, are the play for me over the coming weeks. So let's see how that further develops. And as said, like the level to get in was right here, and right now we are reaching this supply zone, and together with this trend line resistance. So this is not a level to get super bullish and FOMO into positions. I can actually see price reject from here and then maybe form the higher low later on. But overall it starts to look pretty good. Let's see the highest time frame we have to clear this up. We have a pullback here is on the 8 hours. So we have low, 2 candles up, 2 candles, one candle down, but the 2 candles down is also that does not need is not necessary. You want 2 up, 1 down. That's valid structure. So right here we have low, up, low, 2 up, down, and right now we wicked it. So technically we have to extend our market structure level to that new wick. But in 2 hours, if we close this candle the next 2 hours above, then we have a confirmed bullish break of structure. And then the expected order flow is in higher low for new highs. Technically the range high. So then this local range that we played right here has been completed. And then now we can just watch at this bigger range. So that's super nice. And then we can watch what are the POIs. We do have some clean demand right here, range demand. With an imbalance. So this is a super nice POI, but it's pretty deep, so the price does not have to come all the way back there. But if we get there, it can still be in higher low for a higher high. And further, we do have clean demand right here, which is also around the former range. So this was our former range. And price now also pushing above that deviation threshold, which means that this range can now be seen as an accumulation, breakout, retest, continuation. So RIMC setup. And then oftentimes price does not push back too deep in the range after you have a range breakout, but oftentimes it retests the upper part of the range and then continues. So actually this POI right here is super nice, which is a 2-hour demand zone, probably aligning with the value area high of the range. Let's see. Yeah, so here we have the POC and the value area high. So oftentimes after a range breakout, which price is doing now, you can get a retest of the top of your range before continuation. So this right here is a super nice POI because we have 2-hour demand, we have the range value area high aligning right here, and we have this pretty big imbalance. Do I have a single print? Yeah, pretty big imbalance right here. So let's zoom in a bit more. Over the next few days, I think we can, like this is not a place to FOMO into longs. Maybe we can catch a short if the triggers are super clean, but then get a retrace here, and then maybe early next week we can look for continuation longs, since I'm expecting higher prices overall after this bullish market structure break, and we have that Wyckoff model 1, so technical target is the range high. And then this is the super clean PY, so I'm gonna put some alerts there, and there, and an alert here in the supply, and then just watch for it. Earlier today my main TP got hit when I woke up with this move right here, taking out that range high. My TP was at 61k, so right here, and now I have the 10% runner, which I'm gonna close if we hit 62,400. So if we tap this supply, I'm just gonna close to full position, crazy trade, and then just watch. Do we see weakness, anything here, higher low, and then simply looking for longs from there, which aligns pretty well with the USDT view. Can this go here? So we have this bigger range. Ooh, this is pretty wild. I saw this local range, but actually we have this bigger range. Let's see if we pull that range. So then we have this. This is pretty wild. But we can say that if this is our range and we had our accumulation here at the lows, the 1, the 2, the model 1 that turned into the model 2, broke structure back to bullish right there, and then started this crazy uptrend, then now we can also see it as a tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, where this tap 2 and 3 are pretty close to each other compared to tap 1. But overall, here we have this local range, super clean, range high, sweep of that high, and now are clearly breaking structure back to bearish right here on even the 4 hours. So this is bearish bulls. I know why I deleted this, because I want to keep it clean. But locally, you can kind of see it like a just swing high, swing low, SFP of your market structure high, followed by a bearish break, target your range low. Because now our weak targeted low is this low. Because we swing filled our market structure high right here. And we have the bearish bulls. So target is the range low. And that super nicely aligns with Bitcoin going for that range high. It's just an exact replica basically. So that looks good. And then we can watch what are our supply PYs. So do we have supply left behind? Well, we have actually not confirmed because this candle has to close, but a pending 18-hour supply zone. 12-hour nothing, 8-hour nothing. A more refined 6-hour one just above. And that are levels because we have a confirmed weak targeted low, which is this low. So until this level is hit, we can watch for lower highs towards that target. So that's why I'm looking for like levels price left behind to see if we can get shorts there, which then align with longs on crypto pairs, obviously. So there, this one is not too pretty, but the 4-hour is clean. 4-hour, 3-hour, 2-hour. Yeah, look, this is clean. So here we have a big demand zone. So it's not weird to get a to see a bounce from here, because this is pretty strong demand zone. But the main PYs is first one, this supply to see if we get weakness there, and otherwise the higher probability one is more to the extreme premium right here, and then look for lower highs from there. Overall, you can see it on different ways, but this is like could turn into a model 2 distribution, for example. If price comes all the way back here, takes extreme supply, this is now our extreme supply, take extreme supply, break structure back to bearish, and it's a short towards your technical target, which is the range low. So super clean read on both USDT and Bitcoin. So then it's just waiting, setting alert at the there and alert there. And let's see this demand, if we can refine this demand into something more. So this whole block is basically demand, but we have also a more refined 4-hour demand zone inside that level. That one has more of my attention, so a little alert there. And then we can use those levels as confluence for trades. Right now, if we just look at it from a range perspective, then we are at the middle of the range. So this is not a level you want to take fresh trades on. So better to wait for a clean structure here, maybe a move like this, something like this. Right here is higher probability place, because that in extreme premium, for longs you want to wait for extreme discount. But overall, our target is the range low. So not really interested also here, this is only liquidity. So pretty clean read on that. Let me look at the chat for a moment. Note for YouTube versus Discord stream views. Most people already have YouTube open or accounts, so logical to you think you get more views, but for Discord, even when free, people still need to come join, sign up, so it might take time to get people from outside in to join streams, but worth it in my opinion. Yeah, that could definitely be it. But yeah, indeed, the moment they are in the Discord, yeah, they will see the amazing community, so then they will stick around. So maybe this seems a little smaller and slower, but I like it more. Also to see who is there, and not everyone has to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Right now I can see who's there, and it's the usual squad as always, so happy to see that. Great. What says a 3-drive versus Model 1 exactly about price movement? I'm still sure about that. Yeah, so like technically, let me look. Do I call this a Model 1 accumulation as well? Yeah, so it's also a Model 1 accumulation, but the distance between tab 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, this is pretty short compared to this one. It's like 4 times as small. So that's why I think that there could also still be a case that these 2 tab merges into 1 tab, and we then get like a new tab right here. And that's why a Model 1, I can explain it better. Like a Model 1 is like a super clean range. So you have a range with sideways price action. So we have a high, we have a low, and then we have that sideways price action in it, where we make a new low, price comes back, makes one more new low, break structure, and then target. So then we have our tab 1, our tab 2, and our tab 3. And this is like a clean Model 1 accumulation where we have sideways price action inside the range. This is a clean Model 1 accumulation. A 3-drive, how I define it at least, everyone has their own, there's no right or wrong. But the 3-drive is more vertical. So instead of super clean sideways price action, it's more consist. Okay, I need to fix it a little bit. It's more like, let's say this is the low, and we have the high. Okay, ignore this one. Then this is more of a tree drive where the price action, instead of a clean range, is more like making like vertical moves down. So this is a clean range where you sweep the low, come back in, sweep low, come back in. And a tree drive is often more vertical price action, where this is super clean sideways and this is more vertical, where the sweeps are still sweeps, but it's also kind of bearish market structure. So then you need more clean flips internally in this level to confirm that rotation. While here you see that it's like sweep, tiny sweep, and then get back in. So like a Wyckoff model is often like super sideways, and yeah, basically a tree drive is a Wyckoff, but this does not really look like a super clean range, but a bit more vertical. That's for me the difference between calling it a Wyckoff model or a tree drive. And if I look at it right here, then at this point this looks to me a bit more like a tree drive, because we have this bearish movement from here. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So now I see it like 1, 2, 3. To me this looks more like a tree drive right now, but the moment we get more price action in the upper side, so let's say we do this, spend more time in the range, then I would say that what I think can still happen is that these two merge into one tab. Then I would say this is what I call a Wyckoff Model 1 accumulation, because then we have a super clean range where most volume is in the middle of the range, and we have our tab 1, our sweep, and our new sweep. Then I will say this is a Wyckoff Model 1 accumulation. But right now, also if we look at the volume profile of this whole range, then it's not a super clean range. Like most of the volume is in the lower part, right here, while here we have more structure instead of ranging price action. So I hope that explains it a bit. Dodge potential PO3 product. Oh, welcome Temptation, good to see you in the stream as well. I'm gonna have a look at Dodge in a minute. 4-hour demand on the USDT, also 786. Clean, clean, clean. Let's see, is it Dodge? PO3. Oh yeah, worth paying attention. I know, like last week I looked at Dodge and I was like, what the fuck is that? What happened with that chart? But clean, yeah. Yeah, eventually at range high is the target. Love to see it, love to see it. Understand. Great, great, great. Okay, so let me first go over, yeah, so for Bitcoin, no trade zone for me right now. I'm gonna take my last bit of profit right here. If we see weakness right here, I might try a little short, but overall, this is my long POI to look for longs. If we are bullish, I'm not expecting a super deep pullback, so I think from here it will happen. If we pull back much deeper to here, yeah, I don't really like that. So let's see what happens here. USDT already explained. Sol, yeah, yesterday we talked about Sol, how I was interested in longs right here, where I wanted to see a tiny move down and then up, but instead, yeah, price even front ran this tiny local demand, so no entry given, and then price pushed straight into the supply that was resting above right here, and it's now rejecting from that level. So that's, so overall this is also just a major range, with range low, range high, sweep, deviated the range low and now getting back in the range. Bit of a weird range because most volume is here and then now we are forming it here, so it's a bit of a weird looking range, but overall SOL is moving strongly. But from a trading perspective, yeah, also this needs time to cool off. Like first POI is basically this, let's delete this whole demand zone. Because this is now one big demand, because we have high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So if we just follow the trend, this can be used in higher low for a higher high. So setting some alerts in that top of the demand zone, and we have some big fair value gaps, so price usually loves to fill them. And like trend lines, but often you can draw something, yeah, like just a little confluence you want to get this and then push higher. More locally, yeah, no, nothing to see. On where's hype? Yes, I shared on hype. It's basically in the middle of the bigger range. So we have this major range where we started the range high and now are around the mid range. We broke this trend line, but we had, if you look at it, low, lower high, SFP, break, higher low, higher high. This can be a higher low before a higher high. So I'm pretty interested right now since we broke internal structure. So price came into this demand and there it formed some structure as well. So let's look at the 30. This whole demand zone is basically that where I was interested, but I could not see an entry yet. But we can see this as a local 1, 2, 3. 3 drive right there, and now also breaking structure back to bullish. So you can draw structure all the way from there, but you can also just use a high point like here with low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now we are breaking this internal one, but also the more important one there, which means that, which structure is that? 4 hour, 3 hour. Okay, so we have 2 candles up here. So this is 3 hour. Yeah, price is trying to break that, which means that, oh, there. Let's see in the next 30 minutes if we close it here, then it's a boss, but let's see how it ends. But overall, it looks pretty good for a rotation, at least back to these highs. Let's call it a liquidity point. This is our pending break of structure. And do we have some demand to fall back on? Yeah, so we have 4 hour demand resting here. With also here like a big imbalance. Single print, which is bullish because it shows we have demand with an FEG above it, so this whole zone can be a higher low for a higher high. We just have to see if we get that good break, because we also took swing liquidity, so we have to see. But overall, I am pretty interested in longs from this whole zone basically. So alert set, but I need to get some structure. Other way how you can look at it is just a bullish range. But then you don't get really an entry till you sweep the low again or take the high. But overall, I think because we have a bullish market structure break, that this makes more sense. That's the idea from BTC, from Hype. What's BTC doing? Yeah, it's finding some resistance here. Hype, Sol, Tao. Oh, Tao again, so clean. We had this refined demand 4 hour, and then here we had that super slow bleed down into that demand. But that's often where you don't want to get involved in a downtrend like this. It's just to chop you up, and especially not if you have clean levels below you. So it was also why I'm not interested in that potential long we had earlier this week, I believe, because context-wise, it didn't make a lot of sense to accumulate there while we had a super clean demand POI below. But this is an example of what you want to see if price taps into such a key demand POI. So this was 4 hour demand, and we can see that price came into that demand POI, tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. Basically a very local, again, bullish 3 drive. And then if you also look at structure, that's why the 3 drives are also always so nice, because a lot of time they also give you a bullish structure break. Because if you follow structure, you technically have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and this is then your first local bullish break, and this is now your more significant bullish break. So we have, it's 1 hour, it's not 4 hour, it is 3 hour. So we have a 3 hour bullish break back to bullish. So also on Tao, I think that this can be our low, and that we can just watch to get a higher low for a higher high. And then 2 POIs I'm mainly looking at is technically this whole zone, because this was our last break, range, break, retest, continuation, or that lower demand. So I just have alerts at both levels and just watching how it resolves, but not too much in a hurry, because also explained yesterday, if you see this, and oftentimes it can do this, range a bit more, and then get like a high time frame rounded bottom. And I think that's a bit more likely still, instead of seeing like here this slow price action and then all of a sudden accelerate massively. So those are the views on the main pairs. Then quickly Dodge, before I dive a bit in the statistics. Dodge. Damn, the chart is wild. Yeah, so I can say that this is your range, where you swept the range high, broke structure back to bearish, then took out the low, price is within the deviation threshold, so it can indeed be a PO3. Let's first look. This is daily supply. Locally we have low, lower high, lower low. So this is an important market structure level, which is also directly supply, but it's already tested. 6 hour, basically the same. for our yeah, I don't know. I don't like the torch chart. I don't like the price action it's showing. Like also this, like what is it? What is the high time frame value area low? Yeah, it's also way up. So even here price can come all the way here and then still make a lower high. Also here, the way it's coming up again doesn't look too convincing. And I don't see super clean signs of accumulation right here. Yeah, I don't like the torch. And I only trade my main pair, so not worth it watching that pair. My main pairs, these are my main pairs. I'm basically married to them. After the vacation I also realized I only need these and gold, and that's it. If they don't give a trade, then I just don't trade. It's also for peace of mind. And I know them very well. And I know they like the Wyckoff models, so that's why I like them. Okay, so plan is clear. What I want to show is the daily. So today we again had a low put in very early, like in the first 40 minutes of the day we put in the low, and then we moved higher. So again, you see that the very early in the day is super important, where we first went down and then up, and it's often a bullish day. So here we can also see how usually, like this is the median, so this is like how a very neutral day operates, and bearish day moves like this, bullish day is like this. So we had the low in very early and then moved up higher. So then you could already see, and now price is behaving like a bullish day, but like a super bullish day, because we are behaving like we are sitting above the 80% bands, which means that we are in the upper 20% of the bullish days already. So that's also why I don't expect much higher than today's high. So this is actually a pretty good TP, and we can also see that. Okay, so based on timing, 80% of the bullish days put the high in later. So based on timing, it can still make new highs, but on like the distance, 22% of the bullish days put the high in further above the open. So we can already see that we are in the upper like 80% bullish days. So not expecting much more higher. But just to show, like early in the day, low put in and then up, and you can already kind of see that we had the bullish median, came back, and then started making new highs. So from next week on, maybe tomorrow also, I start streaming at 2 o'clock. So then we can just look at these things and then already pre-plan it. Let's have a look at the weekly, how that is behaving. Okay, so also here we can see these are the median bullish weeks, and that this week is definitely behaving like a bullish week, but it's already also getting pretty extended on the weekly, with timing also saying like 80% of the days put in the high in later, because oftentimes when you have a bullish week you put in the high either on Friday or on Sunday. But also here 22% of the days of the, we are on the weekly right now, oh no, here weekly. Oh, like on the weekly there's quite a bit of room still, because we first had it move down here and now we are following the bullish path. So 66 of the bullish weeks put the high in later. It's like a bit of edge, not that big. And 79% of the bullish weeks put the high in further above the open. So there is still room to make a new high later in the week. But yeah, overall not too big of an edge in my opinion. One thing to note though is that the monthly is giving some warning signals, because we have the low in extremely early. Can we see that? Yeah, 100% of the bullish months put the high in, or the, wait, I need to see. 90% of the bullish months put the low in later. 83% of the bullish months put the low further below the open. So we have our low at the first hour of the first day of the new month, which is pretty unusual to put it in that early. So it could be that we later in the month still take out that low later. But that's something for another moment. For now, I think plans are pretty clean. Watching for potential shorts here and longs here. If we fall much further to here, this is still a level to look for potential longs. But usually Bitcoin, knowing Bitcoin, if it's bullish, it doesn't give too deep of a pullback. So then this is a super clean PY. It's basically your range high, value area high, demand for value gaps, maybe even daily point of control, a lot of confluence. So here I'm interested in scalp longs again from tomorrow on. Last thing is gold. Very similar to Bitcoin basically, where we also have that 1, 2, 3 drive. This is an even cleaner example of a tree drive instead of a Model 1 accumulation, because you have that super vertical price action instead of range, low, range, low, range. Because if we pull a volume profile here, then it looks awful. This is not. This doesn't even look like a range at all, but it's still a 1, 2, 3 drive. And the main structure is low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And right here we wicked it. So technically we have to extend the wick, the market structure level to that wick level, which is now here. So I believe 8 hour is the highest time frame. Yeah, 8 hour. So we actually already confirmed the boss. So that's pretty good. So that means that this downtrend, so I need to get it back to black, it's better. But this downtrend is now officially broken, and that we have a lower low, now a break, which means that we can look for a higher low, either here or here, for a higher high. So pretty similar view to Bitcoin. So let's see where the PYs are. First PY is we have a massive imbalance right here with clean demand right here. So this is the first local, basically it starts from there. So this is the first PY alert there, and yeah, that's the first one, because if we pull back, we now have 4 hour structure as well, which is high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So preferably you do not break your 4 hour structure back to bearish if you're bullish. So if this is bullish, I expect it to move from here towards that supply. And that is again a massive supply because it's mid-range and yeah, the level where we sold off heavily from. So simple plan here, potential longs from here, potential shorts from here, but yeah, need some time. Right now this is nothing to trade for me at least. So let's see, alerts are set and then just watching. Then I think that's everything I wanted to say. As said, I took some nice trades, so a lot of times then you want to accelerate and take new trades and what I don't know, but I'm just gonna wait till it becomes clear again. To me, this price action today was also nothing clean at all. What I want to see now is price coming back in here, then give some structure, and then a bullish break, and then trade again. Something like this, where you have like a local 3 drive, bullish break, and then trade it higher again. That's what I'm waiting for longs. For shorts, it's the opposite, where we take out the high and then have like a bearish tree drive, break of structure, and then shorts. That's like low time frame, or like the idea for the next 1 or 2 days. So I hope that's clear. Give me a rounded bottom on Tao, please. I think it can develop into one. It looks pretty clean. And those rounded bottoms are wild on the high time frame. I don't know why, if I'm turning on a new chart, you see those grid levels. You see those? These white grids. I don't know why they suddenly show up on my chart, but I don't like it. But yeah, in crypto, rounded bottoms, if this develops like a rounded bottom, that can be the fuel to literally send it much higher. However, I hope that we eventually mitigate this level right here for that high time frame model 2 accumulation idea, where we have tab 1, tab 2, mitigate this range demand, take this local liquidity, and then have a high time frame model 2, and then I think that can be the bottom before this absolutely sends back to 560 at least. But yeah, that's for later. For now, if there are not any questions, then I'm gonna thank you all for tuning in again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe tonight if there happens, but watching this price action, I don't think we get anything today. Just gonna watch what happens. Thank you, Estali. I appreciate you a lot. And everyone that has tuned in, of course. So thanks guys, and I see you in the Discord.